Good evening. It is Friday, October 25th, and welcome to tonight's show of For FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Daphne Garishkin.
And I'm student meteorologist Raquel Nakora, and we have a great show for you guys this evening.
A full show.
A very full show. There's a lot of meteorologists are just coming in today and doing their forecasts.
Yeah, well, we have good news for those of you who like clear skies. We have cooler temperatures. You probably noticed this morning, chilly was, you probably grabbed the light jacket as you headed out the door, and we warmed up to the 70s today.
And in addition to those cool temperatures, we're actually seeing a very, very dry conditions this weekend.
Mm-hmm. And with these dry conditions, we want to remind you that when you have dry conditions combined with a little bit of wind,
yes,
that's some ingredients for wildfires. So.
Yes, and there's actually a couple reports of wildfires west of Leon County. If you went out during the evening, you might have seen or even smelled the smoke in the air. Just kind of give that dusty haze color to the sky.
Yeah, I smelled that last night. And good news is winds are calming down, and especially tonight, we're talking possibly 38 degrees.
Yes.
So when you have the winds calm down, that's allowing those temperatures to cool down more so than last night. We actually had the winds pick up last night, giving it about 45 degrees, which was 5 degrees warmer than what we had expected because those winds crept up on us.
Well, although we're seeing those cooler temperatures, I know there's other parts of the country that are seeing even much colder and windier conditions than here in Florida. So now we're going to send it over to Braden with a 1-minute overview. How's it looking, Braden?
It's going pretty good, ladies. It was a pretty good day today, and it's going to continue to be like that over the next couple of days. Let's check out the big picture real quick. And you see out in the southeast, especially in Tallahassee, dry conditions, definitely cooler conditions. Better than out in the Midwest, still seeing a couple showers. Out in Texas, New Mexico, even into Colorado a little bit, still seeing some showers. But over here, we are nice and dry. Right now, in and around the Big Bend, 71 in Tallahassee, 67, a little cooler out in Monticello, even cooler, 64 in Thomasville. Down to the coast, lower 70s, Carabel sitting at 70 degrees. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, a quick sneak peek, 71 degrees with abundant sunshine. It's going to be pretty comfortable. And then for your weather headlines, what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the show, some cold mornings, beautiful days ahead, and lows possibly in the 30s. We'll talk about that later, but right now, back to the desk. We'll be talking about some space weather.
Thanks, Braden. I'm looking forward to those cooler conditions we're going to see again this weekend.
Yeah, so we have the sunshine here, but not so much in other places.
Yeah, we're going to take this to actually the outer space, mankind's final frontier.
Well, it's actually one of the most bizarre discoveries, actually discovered earlier this month. And what they're saying is that they found a lonely planet kind of drifting in space by itself with no sun.
Now imagine, in our solar system, we all revolve, I'm just saying all as in all 9 or 8 planets, we revolve around our sun. So with this planet, it makes it very unique, being the size, or much larger than the size of Jupiter, and just kind of drifting out in space all alone without a sun.
So they're kind of wondering what they should call this, because they can't really call it a planet, but it's called a gas planet. So
I wonder how the conditions are going to look in that gas planet, but now we're going to take it to the local. And I know things are looking pretty nice here, not too much showing up on the local radar right now, and it's going to stay relatively quiet for the weekend. Again, those cool conditions and dry conditions are all the product of the high pressure system located in the southeast United States. And that's going to be responsible for us to drop down to 38 degrees in Tallahassee. Quincy, you're going to drop down to 37 degrees, and Bainbridge, you're going to drop down to 40 degrees. So a combination of the higher 30s here in the interior of the Big Bend region along the water, you're going to be a little bit warmer, just kind of flirting with the 50s. Tomorrow's forecast, we're here in Tallahassee, we're going to rise up to 75 degrees, and that is due just again to the dry conditions. The lack of moisture is going to be responsible for the high temperature fluctuations. We're going to see temperatures drop down to the 40s in the evenings and rise up as high as 69 possibly tomorrow. We're seeing 69 right now, partly cloudy skies, and we're just going to see a repeat of that this weekend. Again, as I mentioned, we're seeing 69 here in Tallahassee, 66 in Quincy, and 71 in Wilma. Now, the dew point temperature is a good indication of how moist or dry our region is, and you can see we're all just sitting here in the 30s in the Big Bend region, and that indicates that we are very dry. Now, as I did mention, that high pressure system is just giving us those calm and quiet conditions. It's filtering in that cool Arctic air from the north and giving us those kind of not necessarily polar conditions. We're not flirting with anything below 0, but we're seeing temperatures just drop down to the 40s. I did mention dry conditions indicated by the orange color. That just sweep of dry air is starting to make its way through central Florida. So South Florida, you're going to see those nicer conditions by early next week. Now the futurecast, the high pressure system, again, as I did mention, is sitting here in the southeastern United States, and that is, again, filtering in that polar air. Calming winds. We're going to not see too much fluctuation in the wind pattern. We're just going to continue to see this northeasterly flow, and that is going to make us calm and quiet. And it's our first cool spell of the season, fall-like day for our futurecast. Again, those temperatures are going to drop tonight, and we're going to see them rise up again tomorrow in the 70s. So I do suggest dressing in layers. That way it can be warm in the evening and cool during the day. Especially if you're going to see that football game tomorrow, Seminoles. We're going against the Wolves in the NC State. That is going to be a very exciting game. So for kickoff, we're actually going to see temperatures in the lower 70s. So again, as I did mention, dress in those layers for this weekend and maybe even early next week as well. We're going to see a little bit more Gulf moisture as we head into early next week. Temperatures will start to rise up as we head into Monday. And now we're going to send it off to Ryan with our southeast.
Thanks, Raquel. Weather's gorgeous outside today. Not a whole lot going on the satellite and radar across the southeast. Looking high and dry for everybody. The entire deep south looking very nice, gorgeous sunshine all day today. With the exception of South Florida, we've got a trailing cold front, the same one that gave everybody else all that nice weather. Still some lingering clouds and showers across the tip of the peninsula of Florida, from Punta Gorda down to Naples and across Alligator Alley into Miami. A few clouds, but other than that, everybody's high and dry. Look at all this orange coloring on the map. That's dry air for you, and you'd know it if you were outside today. Not a cloud in the sky. Where we do have the moisture, though, the tip of southern Florida, where you've got the clouds, that green, moist across that part of the state. But for everybody else, we've got conditions going to be very sunny and dry over the next couple days. Of course, high pressure in control. That's why we've got all these winds out of the north for everybody across the south. 14 miles per hour in Atlanta, 13 in Tallahassee. Kind of gusty as that high pressure really settles in. These winds are really going to settle through the night. Will begin to calm down and then pick back up again through the daytime hours tomorrow. Outside, we've got a cool air mass in place across the entire southeast. 53 degrees in Atlanta. These temperatures are below average by a good shot. Of course, not rare for this time of year to see air masses this cool in October, but cool nonetheless. 54 degrees in Tupelo, 69 in Tallahassee. South Florida really the only place on the map hanging on to the heat. 80 degrees and cloudy in Key West, Florida. Here's your 24-hour dew point change, giving you an idea of how dry it really is, going from oppressive to refreshing outside. And 20-degree drops in dew points just means it's going to feel really nice for the foreseeable future. On the futurecast, abundant sunshine, really not going anywhere anytime soon. A few showers across the peninsula of Florida. We set this into motion. Watch the clock. Not a whole lot going anywhere, working into Saturday, and the sunshine really stays in place over the entire state. The Sunshine State is living up to its name this weekend, and it's going to be great for outdoor activities. Really looking quite nice. Tonight's forecast: cool in place, high pressure. Those winds are going to lighten up, allowing temperatures to really drop with clear skies. 35 in Atlanta, 33 in Montgomery. A few areas could be seeing freezing temperatures hitting 32 briefly tonight. Not here in the Panhandle. I think we're going to see upper 30s for most of us. 38 in Tallahassee. Tomorrow we'll warm back up nicely. Sunshine in full force. 62 degrees in Atlanta, 66 in Montgomery, and 72 in Tallahassee. With that, back to the desk with Raquel and Daphne.
Well, thanks, Ryan. And we're going to put a little twist to the weather forecasting here. Some Wally worms is what we're talking about with Raquel before we sent it out to the desk. And it's a folklore forecast.
Yes, as many of us are familiar with the tradition of Groundhog Day, you know, the little groundhog trying to see its shadow to forecast how many more weeks of winter. There are other folklore forecasts that parts of the United States actually have to foretell the weather.
Yeah, and one pattern they kind of noticed has something to do with worms and darker colors, indicating a more harsher winter versus lighter colors, the stripes, more.
Milder winters.
Yeah.
Now with that, there's woolly worms, and they're actually kind of caterpillars with thick coats. So the number of stripes means the number of harsh winters they're going to see.
Yeah, and we kind of look like the stripes here. Could we be a woolly worm here?
Well, I hope I will not be a harsh winter. But now we're going to send it to Casey Cloud with the look of our national.
Thanks so much. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current conditions across the nation right now. 69 degrees in Dallas. Temperatures as you get north a little bit cooler. 57 degrees Minneapolis, 55 degrees in Kansas City. Back and toward the southeast, 67 degrees in New Orleans, and much cooler up toward areas like Detroit, Michigan, sitting currently at 45 degrees. Now your satellite and radar is showing across the nation that we do have some rain located over parts of Albuquerque, New Mexico at the present time, getting into some light to moderate rain showers in that area. This is being caused by a low pressure system across southeast California, and that is causing some of that rain in that area. Now as we go ahead and take a look to the north and central Minneapolis, some snow in those areas at the present time. Now watches and warnings right now, we see that we do have in fact a frost advisory for areas like Memphis. Back here at home we see areas such as just to the north of Tallahassee and Albany, Georgia, under a frost advisory in the darker blue color. Lighter blue color, we have a freeze warning, including areas like Atlanta, also areas like Montgomery. You see that red flag warning as well, also affecting areas like Mobile, Alabama. Now, Doppler radar showing at the current time some showers around areas like Buffalo, so not too much of a factor in those communities. Now to the northwest, we see that there are pretty much clear conditions. Parts of Idaho around Boise, just clear, nice conditions in those areas. Now, in terms of the southwestern areas around Phoenix, in fact, Albuquerque, looks like we have a heavier shower just to the southwest of Albuquerque currently. Now, broadening out that view, that radar, we see those conditions across our area. Now, in terms of those airport delays, currently none across the nation in terms of the major airports at least, so that's some good news. Now, tonight's forecast, 52 degrees in Dallas, down toward the southeast. Back at home, we see areas like 51 in New Orleans and 38 degrees in Tallahassee. And tomorrow, we see temperatures in the mid to upper 70s across the nation, but right now we'll take it over to Tawana with a look at the local weather.
Thank you so much, Casey. This meteorogram here shows the dip in temperatures we felt overnight. Look at that, 46 at 7 a.m. this morning. So if you're up like me, you're definitely feeling the cold and the chilly temperatures out there. But it warmed up to 68 and 72, guys. So I'm sure you were more enjoying the afternoon than the morning, unless you really like the cold. But currently, if we take a trip around the Big Bend region, 69 here in Tallahassee, 72 in St. Mark's, a little bit warmer over there, over in St. Mark's, and 70 in Carabel. Dew points are relatively low right now, showing the fact that a cold front has passed through our area, and those humidity levels and the moisture in the air, that level has dropped. So girls, perfect time for the hair. No more worrying about the frizz factor, guys. I'm very happy for that myself. Dew point is a little bit higher in Quincy at 32, and Bainbridge is sharing that same number. Just to the high pressure that is currently sitting over us and moving into our region, just giving us that colder air. It's just most of the wind is just coming from the northwest direction and just bringing in the colder air, giving us those nicer, drier conditions. It's just something that we can all enjoy this weekend. Futurecast shows you, just like I said, high pressure, cold and dry. High pressure is just dragging that cold air into our region, making it just so much more fun for us. No humidity to deal with. And those calming winds will allow it to get colder overnight. We may even dip down into the 30s. That's something we haven't seen a very long time. For the game tomorrow, chilly. I suggest you do bundle up. If you do decide to go tailgating in the morning, you might want to have a jacket or a sweater or something. And then by the time of the game, maybe one long sleeve shirt wouldn't be that bad. But it'll be pleasant conditions for the game. And as the high pressure just scoots its way east, fall-like day for Saturday, like I just said, and Saturday night it's going to be comfortable conditions for celebrating after we win that game, guys. For satellite and radar, you just see right currently over Tallahassee, nothing to deal with. South Florida, they have to do with the clouds and the showers, but once that scoots past, it would be fun for everyone. For a beach forecast, tomorrow, surf 2 to 3 feet, so if you do decide to go out, take care, take caution. Boating as well, windy, 2 to 3 feet, waves, protected water, light chop. So be very careful if you do decide to go out. And for tonight, 38, chilly, clear skies, gorgeous night. I hope you enjoy it as well. And for tomorrow, look at that, 71, abundant sunshine, comfortable, perfect for that game tomorrow against the NC State Wolfpack. 7-day, gorgeous week, going up into the 80s by Wednesday. Not much to complain about. But the guys at the desk will be talking about the earthquake that happened in Japan earlier today.
Yes, indeed, Tawana. And earlier today, off the coast of Japan, a 7.3 earthquake occurred right off the coast.
Yeah, fortunately, as of right now, there are no reported damages to land and no reported deaths, which is really a significant event. I mean, that's very, very good considering what happened.
Because right after it happened, the Japan emergency agencies issued a tsunami advisory because of the indicated tsunami when the earthquake occurred. And tell us more about the statistics of that tsunami.
Well, there were some tsunamis reported, but nothing major like we see in the past. I mean, we're talking 15-inch heights located in several areas, but thankfully nothing too extreme.
Yes, and fortunately, here at home, we won't have any tsunamis to tell about, but you're going to tell us more about our cool weather, right?
Oh yes, and things have been getting chillier and chillier as that cold front moved through. Temperatures up in the northern part of Florida. I mean, look at that, 69 in the capital city, 67 in Pensacola, and 69 in Jacksonville over there. And if you look further south, things are staying pretty warm. We see some clouds down there in the Miami, West Palm Beach area, as that's the tail end of that front finally moving off, and temperatures are still a little bit warm down there, but definitely things are cooling down all across the Sunshine State. I mean, beautiful weather going around. The 24-hour temperature change, I mean, right here we see only 1 degree in Tallahassee, 5 over there in Pensacola, and 7 Tampa, and 10 in Orlando. So this really gives us an idea of how things are changing as this cold front has moved through, really starting to knock down temperatures quite a bit. And there is high pressure, but it's dominating up into the north. So we're still getting quite a little bit of winds coming in through this direction, which is keeping our temperatures down for the time being. But we do expect them to calm down just a little bit tonight and resume the pace tomorrow. Right now, our dew point, 30 degrees in Tallahassee. Now, this dew point is an excellent indicator of how much moisture is in the air. This is also a good, you could say that this is a good indicator of how cool the temperature could get, but not necessarily how cold it will get. 30 is a very good indicator that's dry in Tallahassee. 43 is also very dry. 55 in Tampa is pretty comfortable, actually, and obviously down there as we head to the northern section of Florida, things are getting more moist as that front is still moving off and most of the moisture is still down there by Key West and Miami. Satellite and radar gives you a better look at it than I told you just right there. See the front finally moving off towards the south, off towards the coastline, with the moisture and the clouds still hanging out down there by Miami and Key West. Some clouds popping up, and that's where all the moisture is. But look up here, clear skies and dry air really settling in. Brown right there is an indicator of that dry air, and the green, obviously, the moisture. So things are looking fantastic up here in Tallahassee. Things really, just gorgeous weather, sunshine hanging around, and things are going to be looking great in the Tallahassee area and for the next couple of days in the foreseeable future for the NC State game on Saturday. But Futurecast radar, we take a look. Not much is going to be going on. We see some showers developing off the east coast of Jacksonville, and down there as we progress through, things are going to be really just calming down. Gorgeous conditions. Not much at all going on in terms of precipitation. For tonight's forecast, things are going to be cooling down. We think it could even reach the upper 30s here in Tallahassee, 38, 45 in Jacksonville. Head on south, it's going to be a little bit warmer, 58 Orlando, 62 Fort Myers, 71 Miami. So things are definitely chilling down. For tomorrow, though, 70 Jacksonville, 72 in Tallahassee, 72 Pensacola, 80 down there in Orlando. Things are staying warmer to the south. But we need to keep in mind, actually, that
hurricane season is not over yet. So, John, what can you tell us about that?
Although hurricane season isn't really over, there's not much to talk about in the Caribbean, just a few clouds near the Yucatan. Most of this is from the cold front that pushed through yesterday, and this is spewing from the Bay of Campeche all the way up into the Bahamas and all the way up into Canada. Most of the Gulf of Mexico is pretty clear right now, with just a few showers heading down into the Bay of Campeche and over towards the Yucatan coast of the Mexican states there. 69 degrees here in Tallahassee, much cooler up towards the north 50s in northern Georgia and northern Alabama. And there was even some snowflakes falling up into West Virginia and the mountains of North Carolina earlier today. Where's all that warm air? Down towards the south, still 80 degrees right now with a couple of clouds in Key West. Wind is really ushering in a lot of change for the northern parts of the southeast. 14 miles an hour out of the northwest in Atlanta, 13 here in Tallahassee. The winds have already gone towards the north in Wilmington, where it's still warm. Wind off the water in Miami and in Key West at 9 to 10 miles per hour. As I said, most of the southeast is clear. High pressure is in control. Just a few clouds across central and south Florida right now. High pressure is in control and will be in control for the next couple of days. It'll bring in overnight northerly winds out of the Smoky Mountains. It'll bring in cooler and also some drier air as well. Calming winds will be a problem in northern Georgia, where they will actually see some frost and even very close to a freeze in Atlanta and in Birmingham, with clouds pushing out of the area. When you wake up for those tailgates tomorrow morning, it will be chilly and the sun will be out. Not a cloud in the sky for tomorrow's forecast at all. And high pressure is going to be bringing in awesome conditions for tomorrow's game at 3:30 against NC State. This is how the temperatures are going to work overnight. We're starting off at 47 at 8 o'clock tonight. And that freezing line is going to come on slowly south into northern Georgia and northern Alabama, and we could even dip it into the 30s in the northern parts of our area. And even close to the coast, we'll be right around 40 degrees. Down towards the south, we'll be sticking to the middle 70s. Even for this time of year, that's quite warm for central and south Florida. Here's those exact lows. Tallahassee, 38 degrees, 71 in Miami, up towards the north. 33 degrees in Tupelo, 35 in Atlanta, 33 in Montgomery, a little bit warmer off towards the west. For tomorrow's forecast, still warming up to 62 in Atlanta, nice and warm in New Orleans and Shreveport at 73 degrees, and even warmer down in central and south Florida in the middle 80s for October. Gotta love that. Sunshine abound for the entire area. 72 degrees outside the stadium as we head on into the stadium against NC State. And I hear we'll have to go back to the tropics for some tropical history here. Now, back at the desk.
Thanks, John. And actually, today in weather history, Hurricane Wilma, the most intense hurricane ever recorded in North Atlantic, actually moved off the coast and weakened in intensity.
Yes, and well, actually, it strengthened after the coast, but then it weakened, as it transitioned to a extratropical cyclone. But even the more important storm was hitting the coast of Cuba this time last year.
Yes, Hurricane Sandy actually reached peak intensity at this time, hitting in areas around Cuba at this day last year, or in 2000, last year.
Yes, and it hit Cuba as a Category 3 hurricane with winds of 150 miles per hour. So really just, powerful hurricane, the folks in the Caribbean had to deal with at the time this last year.
Yeah, it's really interesting to notice how these two storms on this day, one of them was actually beginning its downtrend and the other one was actually beginning an uptrend. So it's very interesting to see how these things happen in cycles.
But we're going to take it out to our last local, Chris. And Chris, I know you love this weather, don't you?
Oh, guys, I love this weather, and I'm sure you guys do too. We saw a perfect fall-like day today with sunshine abound, just beautiful blue skies, not a cloud to be found, and temperatures in the low 70s and breezy conditions out of the north, ushering in that cooler air. And this morning, quite chilly at 46, well below average, and we're going to top that tonight down in the 30s across the region. Right now, though, you are already seeing those temperatures starting to drop. We're seeing yellows across the map. 69 seems to be the dividing line here in Tallahassee, points south in the low 70s and points north in the mid to upper 60, 64 in Bainbridge, 65 in Mariana. And as we head to our east, you folks in Valdosta and Perry, 68 and 66 respectively. Now, across the region. The winds have been pretty blustery today, ushering in that cooler air from the north, and all these wind arrows are pointing down, which means the air is coming in from the north. So points north, that's where all that cold air is coming from, and that's one of the reasons why we've been seeing such cool temperatures, is because of these northerly wind flow. And this is going to continue on through your Saturday and then diminish as we head into your night tomorrow. So we'll be quite breezy for those morning tailgate plans, but then we'll see the winds die down to more calm conditions. Now, here's the water vapor, and we did actually have another front pass through today, just reinforcing that cooler air, and you can see that right here. It's about in central Florida, and that orange you see, that's really, really dry air. And then pointing south, we don't got much moisture, but there is some more moisture down there. No rain to talk about, but it is just dry as a bone across the Big Bend and all along the southeast, and that's going to really allow those temperatures to really drop with those clear skies. The temperatures are just, that heat is just going to escape, and those temperatures are going to bottom out. Now there's those clouds and just that little moisture left in South Florida that'll be pushing off to the south, but we will not have any clouds in this big bubble of high pressure that is all along the southeast. So get ready to enjoy it. Maybe have a bonfire night, enjoy your weekend. And temperatures, well, here they are. Starting tonight at 8, we're going to see those temperatures really take a nosedive, especially in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and across the northern parts of Florida. We're going to see that those 30s just really get pretty close to our area, especially in Tallahassee. We're predicting 39, and definitely points outside the city. You could see lows in the upper 30s, and then along the coast will be in the 40s. And tomorrow will warm up nicely with that sunshine, but it will still be cold. Perfect, though, for any outdoor plans, and especially for the North Carolina State game. It's looking beautiful. We'll see temperatures in the upper 60s around game time. Now, the day planner tomorrow, 38 to start off your morning. The sun will be out, so it will warm up quite rapidly. And then by kickoff, about 71 degrees, quite comfortable. But it will be warmer, though, in the stadium with all those people. So it's going to be perfect for watching the Seminoles defeat North Carolina State. And then 60 as the game ends, and we'll see temperatures again drop quite low. Tonight, though, 38 again, very chilly, clear. And as we head into your 7-day forecast, you can see a warming trend finally come Monday, and then another front makes its way just after Halloween and just in time for the weekend. But guys, give us some more details on this game day. Seminoles all the way, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Seminoles taking on the Wolfpack 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, and the legend Bobby Bowden will be making a return to the stadium.
Yes, indeed. You know, it's going to be a great day tomorrow. You know, just whenever we have game day, it's just really good excitement. Just the atmosphere. The campus is getting really into it. So something that, guys, I'm just really looking forward to, and I hope you are as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, FSU is really on a roll here. But back to the weather side of things, I mean, things are going to be pretty chilly. So if you're going to head out there to the tailgates, keep your eyes on the temperature. You might want to dress, wear a sweater for those temperatures.
Yes, it's going to get down to 38 degrees tonight. So you really want to make sure you have your light sweaters, in fact, because it's going to be quite nippy in the morning. But fortunately, as you look at the rest of the weekend looks gorgeous. Really, the whole week looks just fabulous. So, you really, there's no excuse to not go outside, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. But if you want to, you can like us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather. Like or tweet us at Twitter.com, or watch us anytime at livestream.com/FSU Weather.
All right, and I'm student meteorologist Troy Fields.
I am student meteorologist Jake Taylor.
And have a great night.